talking about the Forest boss, Steve Cooper, who has a tremendous sort of reputation as a rising coach in the game. And he has cited Jose Seguera as his inspiration when he worked with him at Liverpool. And I know, obviously, you know Jose from your time at Barcelona. And I think one of the things Steve was talking about was how you have to come up with a plan for your club and your team, and whatever you do, you stick with it. That's something he learned from Jose. And I was just wondering your sort of recollections of Seguera, and it seems to me that's one of your principles you have at Arsenal. You stick with your beliefs and go with it.
Yeah, well, I think you have to stick a plan that it has to be shared, agreed, and it has to be defended by all the members of the organization. That's first of all, and it has to be agreed. And then it has to be the best plan for that club. It's not the best plan for a manager or the best plan for a coach, because it doesn't work. And that has to be fitted, first of all, respecting the history and the tradition of that club and the philosophy of that club, and then what you want to add, bring, and evolve within that. But I agree that once you have the direction and the set and the idea clear, don't move too much from it. You can adapt to it, which is necessary, and evaluate all the time throughout the process, but stick to your strengths as well.
And on Steve himself, I mean, you with City 2 or 3 seasons ago, I think I was there at Swansea, and it was an incredible cup tie you had with City then, and they nearly beat you. I mean, he will take this competition seriously, and obviously Forest have had a tremendous run under him. Does that show what a good coach he is?
Absolutely, and I have made the players aware already, and the work that Gary and the coaching staff have done since they joined the club, and what we're going to expect. But we take this competition very seriously too.
Right, and Forest themselves, obviously, back in the 70s, won the European Cup twice, league title. How much do you know about that? And Brian Clough, obviously, as a legendary coaching manager in this country, I mean, is it something Pep and you were aware about when you were at City, the Clough thing, and how much do you know about Forest?
I'm aware because I love the history of the game, the history in this country, and I have read about it, but obviously I didn't live with it, and I think that's very, very different, you know, when you are part of a decade when that happened, and you have lived with it, with your parents, with your family, and you have experience. It is different, and I think colder as well when you just read it, but it was a tremendous achievement, and it's part of the history.
I mean, it's incredible to think they won the European Cup twice, and we know Arsenal have still to win it, and you know
that's what I'm saying. And now you are telling me this, and I knew about it, but I said, it's a big achievement, but this is not enough to probably I don't know, give the credit that they deserve to what they did. But if you were part of that and you lived that on that time, how difficult it was to win that championship, then you really realize and value what they did.
Okay, so you're expecting a great cup tie, aren't you, on Sunday?
I do, and a great atmosphere, and I know that stadium, and it will be tough.
Okay, best of luck. Thank you for your time.
Finally come to Mike from Telegraph.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
On these rearranged games, I mean, do you agree with the view that if you have an arranged game in the window, your opponents might have signed a player which they wouldn't have had if they played you originally? Would you agree that they probably shouldn't be allowed to play in those games?
It's a really tricky one. What about if you have 3 major injuries? That the players that they were able to play on that game, and then they cannot play. But you have to sign some players because they have 3 Achilles tendons. What do? You play with academy players, then it's not fair either. So listen, we live in a world that we cannot control certain things. The calendar can be difficult. One day you were going to play maybe with crowd, maybe without crowd. A lot of things have changed, and we have played through that. So I think this is the smallest of the problems. This is how I would define it.
Okay. In your cup ties so far, you picked Bernd Leno. Has this been a particularly tricky time for him, obviously, and a real test of his character to be behind Aaron in the goalkeeping pecking order.
Like for any other player that doesn't play regularly, and the situation has changed. But what we expect from players is to try to turn the situation around and show that we are wrong and they have the capacity to play and they deserve to play. And every time they have the opportunity to do that, show that, and that's the best way to put your point across.
Have you seen him being positive? Has he still got the same attitude towards training, even though he's not in the team?
Yes, and that's difficult to ask, and but what we expect from every single player, and we have to help them as well, because I think the mental side and the approach that you have with players when they play more or less is something that you have to be very conscious of, and I think we have a big part on that as well.
We spoke to you a few weeks ago where you said if there was the opportunity to tweak the squad in January, but are you saying that if the opportunity comes around, you could do more than that maybe, and really make long-term acquisitions as well as just tweaking it?
We want to improve our squad in every transfer window, and we want to have a better squad balance in every transfer window.
How does it with Edu? How does it work? You as the coach, are you talking to him every day about these possibilities that are coming up, or do you leave that to him?
We have a leadership team that is in constant communication. Obviously, Edu and I talk every single day, and we share all the ideas, concerns that we have, all the opportunities. He is in full charge to go through all the markets, the opportunities with his team, and we are lucky because we have great communication. We know each other now for a few years. We've been through a lot since both joined the club, and we are very, very buying aligned, not only with him, but as well with all the directors and ownership.
Are you optimistic of something happening this month for you in terms of incomings?
I'm always optimistic.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.